This morning I thought I would take you through the process I go through when I'm downloading CCTV from one of our vehicles. The first thing is safety first, so I will apply a steering wheel cover onto, sorry the camera work is a little bit dodgy, steering wheel cover that alerts people to the fact that there is someone working on the bus, and so they shouldn't start the engine or move the bus without speaking to that person first, just to make sure it's safe. This bus is actually not due to go out today because it's not required. We always have a few spare buses in the fleet, so I'll also put a note on the seat saying that I'm taking the CCTV drive out the bus. Having done all of that, I'll then go upstairs and open the compartment where the CCTV drive is stored. I will just, a little bit awkward doing this one-handed. The CCTV, in fact the CCTV is stored in a locked cupboard. And as you can see, there's a lot of electronic gubbins in here, but it's also then itself locked into position as well, so there's double security. Once you've actually gained access to the vehicle, it takes a further 2 sets of locks to gain access to the drive, and it's this that allows us to maintain the integrity of the data. That was quite important because a lot of our work is either involving accidents on buses or involves police incidents, for example assaults or witnessing things off the vehicle. And for the data to be admissible in a courtroom, you need to be able to show that there is a process maintaining its integrity, not allowing other people to interfere with the contents of the drive. As you can see, these buses are double-decker buses. It's currently one of our Brookes University buses. Oxford Brookes University is a partner of Oxford Bus Company. We provide the transport services between their various campus sites and halls of residence within the city. And we have just won an award with them for a commercial partnership in the bus industry, which is very positive for everybody involved. So I'm now going back downstairs and I will go back to my office and start processing the data. Hello again. Now, there are a number of different regulations that cover how CCTV data is processed in the UK. Most of these rules are European Union regulations. This is a plug-and-play device. This is the hard drive that I've taken from the bus, and you can see it's got a cable coming from the back that I've just plugged into my desktop. So the way data is stored is governed by the Data Protection Act. There is also the Protection of Freedoms Act, which governs how surveillance cameras are used. We have the Police Criminal Justice Acts, which determine the way in which data that is used for criminal prosecutions has to be recovered and stored and processed. The most significant of all of these features, I guess, 2 most significant things. The first is that the room in which the data is originally processed, the data can't be seen from outside the room. So you'll notice that there is a computer screen here, but it's facing into the office. There's a door here which is kept locked while data is being processed, and the window, anyone standing outside will only see me sitting at a computer screen. They won't be able to actually see or hear what's on the computer. And then the other is the secure storage. As I've already shown, there's a temporary storage in my office, which is a locked cabinet. The door itself is locked and only 3 people have the key to this office. And there is another secure storage facility within the building where older discs are kept. We keep data for 6 years in the secure place. Only authorised personnel have access or can view it, and it's kept for 6 years because there are statutes of limitations on different types of incidents. The maximum statutes of limitation is 6 years, so after 6 years the data becomes pointless because no further action can be taken as a result of it anyway. So I'm just going to process the data now, and once I've finished that, I will return the hard drive to the to the bus, lock it into place, check that it's functioning, lock up the cabinet, and then switch off the bus again. So I hope that was interesting. As with yesterday, one of the things that we do help the police with a great deal are serious criminal offences, murder, sexual assault, or unexplained deaths. But we also do quite a lot of work assisting them with finding missing persons, particularly vulnerable people. We tend not to have thankfully, too many missing children, but we do have adults who have mental health issues, sometimes dementia related, but sometimes simply learning difficulties or other similar impairments, which makes these people uniquely more vulnerable to persuasion and being, in a sense, abducted without the use of force. And we have a very good success rate with the police, and they find our systems very helpful. We have a very strong relationship with our local police service, which has come about through years of close cooperation, but ensuring that the CCTV is not used to monitor innocent activities, to monitor people going about their daily lives, but is only used when something significant is amiss. So I will carry on now with my processing, and I'll speak to you all later when I get home. Bye. Right, well, it's about 4:30 in the evening, late afternoon. I've been home for a few hours, and I've decided to come and show you outside where I live. The flat here on the top floor, with these windows, that's my bedroom window, and my flatmate's bedroom window, and the kitchen window, and then our sitting room is behind the tree over there. What in the UK is called the second floor, and I think in the US is called the third floor, just, as I say, separated by a common language. So this is Penlon Place. It's a relatively new development. The first buildings went up in the early noughties, and the first people moved in, I think, in 2004-05. I moved in February 2007, so I've been here now for 10.5 years. Before it was a housing development, it was a commercial property, latterly occupied by Penlon Limited, which was still is a medical equipment manufacturer, which was set up in the mid-1940s, in fact during the Second World War, by a group of Oxford scientists to develop scientific equipment, and has changed its name over the times, and is called Penlon Limited now, and this street is named after them. They've actually relocated just along the road into the Abingdon Science Park with better traffic facilities. Before Penlon were here, this was an industrial area. I think a gasometer was here, and probably a coal yard, because the car park that you can see just at the end of the Ginnell here, sorry, Ginnell is a Lancastrian term, I've no idea what the Oxonian term is for it. The car park there, the railway line, branch line from Abingdon through to the main trunk railway line on the west coast, railway line running up to Birmingham and down to Southampton. And we have some street art here, which is a pair of outsized coal merchant's boots and a coal merchant's sack. It was quite fun sitting in my window when I'm crafting, looking out. Whenever young people, children in particular, walk past, the first thing they want to do is to stand in the little hollows that can be seen inside the boots. So this is my little corner of Abingdon. I'm about a 3-minute walk down the road going in. Well, I'll just walk down and show you. It's very quiet, although 1 or 2 people around, but it's pedestrian through path, but not vehicles. So it's people who drive down here tend to be coming here. So I walk through this ginnel, and if I go in that direction that you can see, that will then take me into the town centre. I'm about a 3-minute walk from the town centre, from all the amenities, about a 2-minute walk from Mason's, which is why I spend so much time in there. The doctor's surgery, the vets is there, and at the other end of this street, as I will just walk up now, is the main junction between the 2 roads out of Abingdon to the north. One is the Oxford Road that goes straight north towards Oxford, as the name suggests, and the other one is the Radley Road, which goes on a kind of north-easterly direction to the village of Radley. Which in the past is where the branch line would have met up. There is still a branch line that runs from Oxford via Radley to Didcot, and it's not particularly well used, unfortunately. It's a very short-sighted policy of the British governments over the years to shut down the branch lines of the railway network and only keep the main lines open. Our roads are heavily congested with many people here. Now there's Tootsie, and just in front of Tootsie, I think you might just be able to see, is a spider, a very large spider, hanging in its web, waiting for an unsuspecting victim. People are just beginning to start to come home from work, but as you can see, I've just walked up my little close, and there behind me is the Catholic Church of Our Lady and St Edmunds of Abingdon. And I will tell you more about the church later in another episode. Just making sure I don't get run down, and I will also give you more information about St Edmund of Abingdon, who is a medieval saint, pre-Reformation. And just finally, ooh, look, even more spiders. We seem to have a huge population of spiders at the moment, and quite large ones too. Still, such fun. Yes, every tree seems to have some. Just the final thing to say about Penlon Place. We're about 2 minutes walk in straight from that direction to the river and to the ruins of the Benedictine monastery that was here. And for that reason, administratively, I live in the Abbey ward, which I think is quite nice given my history as a monk. So I'm going to go indoors now. I've given you a little bit of a look around where I live. As you can see, it's all very nice and quiet and green at the moment. And I think it was Jackie who asked, yes, that final picture at the end is a picture of the outside of my home. So I shall see you all again tomorrow. Bye.